Yo, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. We're back after just 24 hours. Hell, even 23 hours. We're back within the day, guys. Calman is with me once again, as always.
Hello.
So, hope you're keen. We've had a reflection episode after the big murder episode. So maybe, hopefully, some more interesting stuff will begin to happen, and we'll know a bit more about the characters and how they're feeling about the old situation.
Maybe we'll hear what Maria has to say.
Well, yeah, the whole Maria thing is weird. It's very weird. She doesn't care that her mum died, even though previously she was like just scared if she didn't know where her mum was. So, you know. I think she's a bit possessed there, guys, perhaps? Something funny going on.
Just normal 9-year-old behavior, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, mate. So, likely story, mate. So, Battler's just had a chat with Ava. And, yeah, my conclusion was that I don't think that she did it. I think she's a bitch and a motherfucker, but I don't think she did it.
What was your reason for that, again?
Part of it was that I thought that her reaction to it was very genuine and that she didn't. And I found it unlikely she would be that good at acting to pull off that reaction. And similarly with Hideyoshi, like the only way that I would be a little bit less confident about that is if Ava was working without Hideyoshi. Maybe Hideyoshi was in the dark about it. Maybe it would be a bit easier for her to pull it off if it was just her and he wasn't involved. But yeah, no, it like that would be very hard. That would be very implausible because she would have had to have somehow arranged the murders without him knowing, or committed them without him knowing. And apparently they've never
Moved all the bodies.
Yeah, and like he would have realized if she was gone for any length of time. So I reckon with them, it's probably both or neither of them are involved. But I'm leaning towards neither, and I think that it was more likely Beatrice.
Interesting theories.
Okay, let's begin. Aunt Ava didn't want to talk anymore after that, so I folded my arms and headed to the window to cool my head a little. As I looked over the parlor, I saw George Arnike and the others gathered, talking. It looked like they were talking about the magic circle that had been painted onto the shutter. As Uncle Hideyoshi thought back to that time, he started drawing the shape in the margins of Maria's notebook. I see. Since Maria was second only to grandfather in knowledge of the occult, she might understand what it meant.
I think it was probably something like that. There was a mark that looked like a variation of a cross. And then, surrounding the circle, all around the perimeter were these closely packed, strange letters on all four sides of the cross. And in the four corners, there was something written. It didn't look like the alphabet or something like that. It was what they call ancient characters.
And around the top of the circumference there was a small mark. 5 small circles arranged in a plus sign. Straight lines connecting them.
Ah, yeah, there definitely was something like that drawn there.
Well, of course there was, because I said so, idiot.
There's no mistaking the shape. I don't understand the thin characters, but the arrangement was nearly the same.
Everyone was staring down at the shape, so I stared down at it too. From what I'd heard, this had been painted on the shutter to the storehouse with some material that looked like blood. I see. This sure is unsettling.
Grandfather's probably the only one who'd want to draw something this weird. Seriously, where did he go? I want to grab him and ask what the hell this is supposed to mean.
Jessica's voice contained impatience and anger. She hadn't gone so far as to say grandfather was the culprit, but she seemed sure that grandfather knew something about the culprit's background. Of course, if we were searching for a link connecting the Ushiromiya family to the occult, 10 out of 10 people would think of grandfather. Also, to a person who knew nothing of the occult, this strange mark would have no meaning. Which meant that this might have been something addressed to grandfather. That's right. And the reason the crime was shown to the survivors was so they'd find this. In that case, where had grandfather, the essential recipient of this message, disappeared off to? Does this shape ring any bells? Maria looked at the shape with a serious face. Maybe she was enthusiastic because this was her area of expertise. However, her appearance was that of someone separated from the events at hand, as though this thing hadn't been drawn on the shutter closed around her mother's corpse. My first impression was that the design resembled a German cross.
It certainly does have that kind of design. Does that mean it has something to do with Germany?
The German cross was originally a crest from a religious order of knights, and was supposed to protect pilgrims traveling to sacred places.
So, in other words, this magic circle might have some religious meaning? This is starting to sound like gibberish.
When I looked over at all of them, prepared to jump into the discussion, something shocked me. Oh dear, that's a creepy close-up. Fucking hell. Maria was smiling, an eerie and incomprehensible expression on her face. Alright, Maria is starting to piss me off with all of her subtle fucking emotions, mate. Or not so subtle. It was almost as if she was making fun of everyone's ignorance. It was an expression I wouldn't have dreamed to find on Maria's face. And she laughed. That eerie, jarring laugh was something I didn't want to believe was possible, even though I was looking at it right in front of my eyes. Oh, fuck! That was a jump scare. Holy shit. Oh, Maria's going crazy! What's happening?
Some more fishy aroma.
What the fuck is happening? Jesus, look at that. Dude, I think she's been possessed ever since she read out the letter. I think ever since she was visited by Beatrice, she's been possessed by her. Something's fucking wrong with her, clearly.
You people aren't even close.
Oh my god.
Can't you tell just by looking?
She looks so weird. While everyone was busy being scared out of their wits, Maria kept on cackling happily by herself. After a while, that laugh was suddenly and abruptly cut off. But her expression still looked like it belonged to someone completely different from Maria.
This is the 7th magic circle of the sun. The characters are written in Hebrew.
How the fuck do you know that, Maria? You're 9.
Give it here.
Sure.
Maria stole the writing materials from the stunned Hideyoshi's hand. She then started drawing another magic circle with a rustle, right next to the one Hideyoshi had drawn.
The?
Oh, that's a new expression.
It sort of looks like this, right?
Yes, it was.
Maria. Incredible. You really do know a lot.
Nanjo's sweating, mate.
Everyone's sweating.
Oh yeah. Jessica tried to smooth things over by praising Maria. Maybe she wanted to confirm that this was still the Maria we all knew so well. But Maria didn't answer her in any way in particular. Maria began swiftly writing unfamiliar characters in the corners of the shape. When Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo saw them, their eyes immediately began to open wide.
Written on the top and bottom and left and right are the names of the angels who preside over the wind, fire, earth, and water. Kasan, Arel, Forlak, and Taliahad. And in the 4 corners are the names of the 4 great kings. Ariel, Seraph, Tharshus, and Cherub. Is that what you saw?
Even if they hadn't been able to correctly write what they'd seen, when they were once again shown something identical, it wasn't difficult for them to realize the two were the same. When Maria asked them whether it matched, Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo nodded over and over again.
There's no mistake. That's it. I'm sure there were characters that look like that. How were you able to write something like that?
There were also characters written around the circumference.
I know. Like this, right?
Maria quickly began to surround the circumference with more Hebrew writing.
It's from Psalms of the Old Testament, the 16th and 17th verses of the 116th Psalm. You must have at least read the Bible, right?
Why does she look like Ava in this image?
Yeah.
Acting as though knowing this was only common sense, Maria laughed. For a while, everyone, including me, was at a loss for words. A little later, George Anarchy returned to his senses and slowly managed to speak. That's incredible. I'm surprised. So, what meaning does this magic circle have?
The magic circle to borrow the power of the sun. He who wears it as a talisman drawn in gold shall be able to break free from the bonds of any prison and receive the power to gain freedom. To break free from bonds. And gain freedom? It sounds deep. The word bonds is not limited in its interpretation to some kind of physical object. Therefore, it does not only hold meaning for people locked up in an actual jail. It can also refer to the release from mental bonds such as ties of obligation and inescapable fate.
I think Maria's got bipolar disorder. Ties of obligation and inescapable fate, you say? That's also pretty deep.
I really don't understand. What does this have to do with those 6 bodies? Apart from being released, or killed and stuck in a storehouse, weren't they? Not like the magic circle was drawn for their sake. The 6 of them were there for the sake of the magic circle. It is truly pitiable.
Jesus, Maria. Fucking hell. I think they need to kill Maria.
Whoa.
First time calling for the murder of Maria. What do you mean? What in the world do you mean when you say the 6 of them were there for the sake of the magic circle? Maria lifted up her pointer finger and waggled it as if she were making fun of us.
It's written around the circumference. Can't you read it? Psalms chapter 116 verses 16 and 17. I'll read it for you. The Lord has freed me from my chains. I will offer to you the sacrifice of thanksgiving and will call on the name of the Lord. See? See, you say. I've got no idea what you're talking about.
You're saying they're human sacrifices? If what Maria had just read aloud was a vital part of the magic circle, then it was saying that sacrifices had to be offered in order for this magic circle to be effective. So human sacrifices had been offered inside the storehouse where the magic circle had been drawn. A heartbeat later, everyone else seemed to reach the same conclusion. Some people were shocked and others spat out that this was insane as they punched their knees. This was starting to get incredibly disturbing, and we couldn't accept it or understand it. I don't care what kind of magic circles or curses other people believe in. I won't pick a fight with them. But what did really kill Dad and the rest as sacrifices for crap like that? I just couldn't stand that feeling. Compared to this, I preferred it when we were still disgusted by that theory about the fight over the inheritance. As I started getting pissed off with a feeling between anger and sadness, I broke from the circle everyone was in and returned once again to the window. Something had gone insane since yesterday. There was that letter from the witch, Beatrice, that Maria had read aloud at last night's dinner. Ever since that point, it feels like like this whole mansion and this whole island have been getting more and more firmly locked inside some kind of bizarre world. That's right. When I think back on it, that letter was an invitation from the witch. The ruler of the nighttime island had invited us inhabitants of the day into another world. The phone and the radio had been interrupted and the island was shut off by the typhoon. So you really could call this place another world, cut off from the real one by now. Yeah. As this island is now, it's perfectly normal for a witch to send us letters and for human sacrifices to be offered up for the sake of magic circles. So what will happen next? Will some weird people wearing goat masks start doing the Bon Festival dance or something. Ugh, it's hopeless. It's hopeless. I don't get it. The inside of my head's all screwed up and I don't even know what to think. Anger. Sadness. The opposing emotions all swirled up together, and they started to suck me in. Unable to resist, I could do nothing but cover my eyes with my hands and trust to my mind and body as I started getting sucked in. As I started losing heart, I began to recall a memory from when I was small. It was from when I was very young. I'd unfortunately seen a scary occult movie on TV, and for a while I hadn't even been able to go to the bathroom by myself. That old bastard gave an exaggerated laugh and said this.
Hey, Battler. Why do you think they go to all the trouble to make movies like this about demons and the occult and such? It's because they don't exist. Something that ridiculous can't be found anywhere on the planet. Because they don't exist, people want to see them and go to a lot of effort making them.
That's why those occult movies just make me laugh.
If I were forced to choose, I'd say, rather than demons and monsters, this year's earnings call and angry wives are 100 million times scarier. I'll go further, okay? From my point of view, getting scared is recreational. Wait, is this still part of what Rudolph's saying?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Do you want to keep reading it?
Did you skip a line? Oh, no. Okay, weird.
Is it all Rudolph?
No, getting scared is a recreational emotion, something for people who've got room to relax both in their hearts and their lifestyles. I guess that wasn't Rudolph. They had so much free time, they didn't know what to do with it, so in order to entertain their mind with unusual emotions, people started creating a culture with demons and the occult and stuff.
Seriously, why have I been acting so damn thick-headed? I was totally taken in. Don't try to mess with me. This is the human world. I don't give a damn about witches, demons, magic circles, and sacrifices. The human who killed Dad and everyone else is still on this island. That's all there is to it, right?
Go off, Battler.
The next person who started speaking to my heart was Kyrie-san. Oh, hey, Salmon. How's it going, man? You want face? Why am I not surprised, Salmon? Oh, let me get it up for you. Oh, that sounded really wrong. Hey, bro, what's up?
You see, in both chess and shogi, when you reach the very, very last stage of the game and get closer and closer to cornering your opponent, the number of optimal moves you could possibly make gets smaller and smaller. Therefore, if you're backing someone against the wall, or if someone's doing the same to you, both players' moves become infinitely easier to read.
Kyrie is a good chess player, man.
In other words, when you're completely cornered and you think you have no moves left, that is the moment when it's easiest to read your opponent. However, when a person is forced into a defensive position, they can't help but lose their ability to think clearly. so they aren't able to get their minds around their opponent's moves.
そういう時はね、
That's when you
チェス盤をひっくり返すの。
spin the chessboard around. She said the line.
I'll remember that for my next chess tournament, mate. When I'm losing, which will be happening, by the way. Yeah, just like think about what their most likely move is next.
Very wise words from Kyrie.
With all my strength, I slapped my face with both hands. Now, my eyes were truly open. When you don't understand anything and you're completely cornered, just like I am now, isn't that the perfect time to spin the chessboard around? While on the defensive, we can't even guess at the culprit's scheme. If we spin it around and look at it that way, just what might we see? First off, at the time the culprit committed the murders, they knew the island was being cut off by the typhoon. Therefore, they should have understood that even if they carried out the murders, they wouldn't be able to get away early the next morning. In short, the culprit had begun without securing a way to escape. True. Furthermore, that bastard tosses the corpses in the storehouse, then was even kind enough to say, "Here they are," with that weird bit of graffiti. In other words, since we'd probably find the corpses sooner or later, they wanted to show them to us. If we'd all been dim and hadn't noticed the storage shed, the culprit's goal would not have been achieved, would it? If you think about it this way, that bastard of a culprit. Since this morning, they've been watching our every move with bated breath. After all, if we hadn't been so kind as to discover what was on the storehouse, all of that hard work and preparation they did last night would have just gone poof. What did the culprit want to make us feel by showing us the corpses in the storehouse? All 6 of the bodies had their faces noticeably destroyed. Was it a grudge? A warning? The defacement of the bodies had occurred after death, so it hadn't been the means by which the culprit had killed. It didn't mean anything to those who had been killed. It did have meaning to those who found the bodies. The culprit wanted to make it appear that they'd been killed so brutally. After thinking this way, I really want to tell that bastard to stop taking me so lightly. Who'd just dance to that tune? If you're told, "Please be scared," you can't just say, "Really? Sure thing." When someone tells the great Ushiromiya battler, "The entrance is right here," I'm the kind of guy who'll start wanting to sneak in through the window. The next thing that had me concerned was that so-called magic circle on the shutter. As Maria, who had shown that her knowledge of the occult rivaled grandfather's, had recognized, that magic circle was genuine. They must have drawn that thing in pitch-black darkness, taking a lot of time and holding an umbrella in one hand. Isn't that amount of hard work and perfectionism impressive? What purpose would have been worth all of that effort? If we were looking for a fan of the occult in this mansion, most likely, all of us would naturally suspect grandfather. Did they want to make us think grandfather was involved? But if that's all they wanted, they could have just drawn any old scribble that looked like a magic circle. It wasn't like any of us amateurs would be able to tell the difference between genuine and fake. Sad. Your emotes are top tier, mate. I've been thinking about doing some Pirate Man emotes as well. So you can actually have some proper things to spam, mate. See. However, this magic circle was genuine, and furthermore, it had even been written in Hebrew, So this magic circle had a message. That could only be understood by someone with knowledge of the occult. A message is a form of communication. By sending it, they were hoping for a reaction. A reaction? For some reason, we couldn't find Grandfather now. I don't know how Grandfather might have spotted the magic circle on the shutter, but did he choose to hide himself in reaction to that? No. Was it a trap to make us suspect that Grandfather had participated? You could read it either way. Damn, that's annoying. What kind of reaction was the culprit hoping to get out of us by putting on this occult show? Somehow, that felt like the culprit's weak point. The letter from Beatrice that Maria had read aloud during last night's dinner sprang back into my mind. This was a freak who'd asked us to enjoy a battle of wits. Isn't that interesting? This is a battle of wits between us and the witch. Will we be sucked up by her occult game first, or will we pull off her fake skin first? There's a whole day until the typhoon passes. Why not enjoy ourselves? I finally noticed that the inside of the parlor had gone quiet again. Everyone had sunk into their favorite sofas, some deep in thought, some irritated, some acting depressed. Maria was once again enjoying the TV as if she'd never left it. Oh man, Maria, what are you doing? What's fucking going on? Can't you just tell us why you're so weird? What's happening to you?
Well, Battler seems to believe that there's a very human culprit, by the sounds of it.
I know, but how does that explain Maria's behavior?
They haven't really delved too deeply into it, have they? Like, no one seems that concerned, somehow.
Yeah, like, I guess at this point we've just got to assume that she's like a complete, like, magic freak and she just knows a lot about it, I guess. But doesn't explain why she, like, laughs and shit and why her face went so fucking weird.
Well, I don't think her face literally went like that.
Oh,
I think that
okay.
was a stylistic thing.
Fair, okay. Maybe Beatrice has, like, confided in Maria to an extent. Knowing that Maria is, like, a true believer of the magic. Maybe Maria is, like, the little helper. Maybe she's been brainwashed.
And so what, like, Maria thinks it's magic, but it's actually just a person.
Yeah, maybe. It looked like she found the commercials more fun than the boring program, and she happily yelled, "Ugh!" and giggled. I stared at each person's appearance in turn. If there isn't a 19th person, the culprit must be in this room.
It's
No.
Nanjo.
It's Maria. Killed her own mother.
It's Battler, apparently.
Right now, Aunt Natsui's searching the mansion with the servants, right? Then we shouldn't say, in this room. In this mansion is where the culprit has to be. After all, it's possible Aunt Natsui was behind this. And we still can't deny that one of the servants might be the killer. Anyone could be guilty. Still, Aunt Natsui and the rest sure are taking their time. Of course, it's not a small mansion, but isn't this taking a little too long for just a walk around, checking the windows and doors? Oh dear, so Natsui's fucking missing too. Oh. Never mind. Just as I was thinking this, Aunt Natsui and the rest returned. Not one of them was missing. But our relief was short-lived. Everyone looked at Aunt Natsui in shock. The talk I'd had with Aunt Ava started to creep back into my mind. The possibility that the culprits had enough in numbers or weapons to kill all of those 6 at once. Ah. What the fuck's she holding? Fucking shotgun. Forgive me if I've startled you. I brought this to be prepared for the worst. After all, that thing in Natsui's hand was a rifle. At a glance, its silhouette looked a lot like a hunting gun. But it was unusually short and kind of looked like a kid-sized weapon. However, it had a weightiness to it that made it clear it was no kid's toy. That gun is Kinzo-san's, isn't it? Did you know about it? That's right. I remembered it was in Father's old collection, and I managed to find it. Woohoo! Awesome. Natsui-san. Is that thing real? Yes, it's real. I can fire live ammunition. Oh, it can fire live ammunition. Long ago, Father used it to scare away wild birds.
Takes me back. Where did you find that thing? No matter how much I asked him to let me touch it, he never let me lay even one finger on it. Oh. Grandfather had one of these? I didn't know that. Long ago, Grandfather was really addicted to cowboy films. That generation really liked this kind of rifle.
Is that a Winchester? But I've never seen one that short before.
I remember. It's that gun. That really takes me back. That's the one Steve McQueen fired off in Wanted, Dead or Alive. Father sure has good taste.
There's an item the master ordered specially from America long ago. As you can see, it is a working gun, so please don't tell anyone about this. He was quite fond of it right after he managed to acquire it.
I'm still a bit sus about her.
It seems the workings that ejected the cartridges were more interesting to him than shooting it, and he played around with it back in the forest all the time. Still, it's rather disturbing. Are you sure you should be dragging this out?
This is to prepare for the worst. There was probably more than one offender involved. Furthermore, those horrible people killed 6 of us, including my husband. I have a responsibility to protect everyone until tomorrow in my husband's place. As Natsui-san said this, she slumped down into one of the sofas and took a deep breath. She had been trying to find Grandfather as well as check the doors and windows. Since Grandfather wasn't with her, she probably still didn't know where he was. I carefully checked all of the doors and windows throughout the mansion. However, we must be prepared for anything. Everyone, I think it would be best if we all remained here.
Ah, good point. If everyone's gathered here, then we can all feel more secure by keeping an eye on each other.
What do you mean by that, Ava-san?
Nothing really. I'm just agreeing with your opinion, aren't I?
There was a stormy atmosphere between the two of them. If you think about who was the most suspicious from the inheritance problem standpoint, Aunt Ava was the obvious answer. However, there was no proof that Aunt Natsui was innocent. No, if you view Beatrice's letter as one of Grandfather's complicated pranks and thinks of this crime as just an extension of that, there's more than enough reason to suspect even Grandfather. Also, Aunt Natsui thought the criminal was on the outside, but Aunt Ava thought the criminal was on the inside. In short, it was the question of whether or not a 19th person exists. That same question had been repeated endlessly since last night's dinner, with the letter from the witch who called herself Beatrice. So was the culprit among us, or not? And did the witch Beatrice exist, or not? If you assume that something as stupid as a witch can't exist, you're basically saying that one of these relatives here, who share a common bloodline, is the culprit. If that was too unpleasant, it'd be much more comfortable to simply accept the fairy tale-like character of the witch. A witch. A witch drawing a bizarre magic circle and offering human sacrifices. If I could accept that rubbish, I'd be able to trust all the people in this room. However, damn common sense got in the way. It kept repeating that witches don't exist. In that case, the culprit must be among us. Well, I think the culprit is a Beatrice, but she's not a real witch.
It's not magic, yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of the seemingly endless rain, none of us could break the silence.
That was quite a big time skip.
So this is 1 p.m.
1 p.m. on the 5th, yep.
And at what time did they discover the bodies?
Oh, it was like 8, wasn't it? It was quite early. 8 or 9.
Just gonna fill up some water. So.
I might go grab my food and try and stealth eat.
Hello, Ava.
I'm gonna try and stealthily eat between lines. See how it goes.
All good, all good. I'm happy to wait a bit. We can discuss. Salmon, are you still in the chat, mate? Give me an ooh. If you're alive, that is. What is this?
Might be the 9th twilight over there.
What happens on the 9th twilight? Everyone is dead.
The witch shall revive, and none will be left alive.
Yikes. Well, I might keep reading until one of your lines.
Yeah, I can definitely jump in when my lines show up.
Sounds good, Mike. Lunch ended, and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. The wind and rain neither weakened nor strengthened, and the island remained cut off from the outside world. At first, it seemed as though Natsui planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room. When it came time to prepare lunch, she finally realized this would be impossible. However, in order to avoid having anyone alone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of that, the servants were the first ones given the right to leave the stuffy parlor, which had been packed with 11 people. Since breakfast had immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating much, everyone tore into their lunches in silence.
I will wash the dishes, so you can rest a while, Kanon-kun, Genji-san. Do you want something to drink? I don't need anything. Ganon.
I don't need anything either.
You two must have been so busy and so early in the morning. It's no wonder you're worn out.
Getting dodgy vibes. She's a dodgy, dodgy grandma. Look at that face. She's got secrets.
Oh. She's just old, mate. What are you talking about?
She's starting to look more and more like the shriveled astronaut whose cryo sleep chamber in the Planet of the Apes failed, and she was just aged for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
The only noise was that of Kumasawa washing the dishes, which resounded throughout the kitchen. Genji and Kanon sat in some chairs a short distance away, their eyes lightly closed. Just as Kumasawa had said, those two had probably built up a great deal of fatigue. But that didn't mean they could let it show in front of the relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. After the silence had continued for some time, Kanon opened his mouth and muttered, "Shannon, why did she have to die in such a horrible way?"
Forget about the manner of her death. It was nothing more than bad luck.
You're right. It was nothing more than bad luck. They both fell silent once again. Kanon's expression was filled with grief.
To think that Shannon-chan's actually dead. I still can't believe it. Poor thing. Not being able to see her again feels like a lie. I just wanted to see her smiling face one more time.
Sounds like Kinzo. Beatrice! Just want to see your face one more time.
Or smile one more time.
Kumasawa spoke with her back facing them. After all, Kumasawa hadn't seen Shannon's corpse, so she had no trouble mentioning Shannon's face. When Kanon heard those words, it reminded him again of how only half of Shannon's face had been left, and his grieving expression twisted even further. Why did Beatrice-sama do that to Shannon? If she wanted a sacrifice, there were plenty of others to choose from. Why? Why?
It was nothing more than bad luck. If we were less lucky, you or I might have been lying out there instead of Shannon. Or it could have been someone else entirely. Everything is left to fate.
Genji-sama. You said the door to Madame's room was stained with traces of something like blood, right? The same substance that was painted on the shutter.
Indeed. It was an unsettling mark. Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had been trying to pull out the doorknob. No, scratched through the door. That sort of unpleasant mark.
So, does this mean Beatrice-sama came to visit Madame's room and tried to open the door, but couldn't? Genji thought back to the time he'd seen those traces of blood on the door to Natsui's room. With the substance sticking to the door around the doorknob and the marks of something scratching against the door, it definitely appeared as though someone had tried to open the door but couldn't. How? How did the madam avoid being chosen as a sacrifice? If only she'd been chosen. Shannon wouldn't have...
How did you know it wouldn't have been Goda that was saved?
Shannon wouldn't have had to die. Just then, a loud, sharp noise came in from the hall. Both of them turned around, surprised. That's a pretty interesting chat you're having there. Let me join in too. Before any of the servants realized it, Butler was standing in the doorway to the kitchen. Butler-sama. How rude of us. Genji-san and Kanon-kun stood up, surprised, and hastily bowed. But I didn't care about stuff like that. I was more concerned with continuing their discussion. I told them I was going to the bathroom, so they let me go. I thought I'd suffocate if I was locked up in that room any longer. I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but then I overheard something pretty interesting. You don't need to bow your heads or anything. Please, let me hear the rest. That just now, it wasn't really... I've been listening to you for a while. Don't try to hide it now. So, I'll ask directly. Who is this Beatrice? She's supposed to be a witch from a kid's story, but it doesn't look like that way now. Kanon-kun averted his gaze. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this, which only made me want to ask even more. While making an effort to smile, I grabbed the collar of his shirt. Last night, this would have been none of my business. But after this morning, everything's changed. Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business. I have the right to listen to this suspicious story, don't I? I glared into Kanon's eyes as he continued to avert his gaze in apparent pain. Since there was a big difference in our heights, Kanon had to stand on his toes and it looked like it hurt a bit.
Sorry, I was muted.
All good, Mark?
Butler-san,
手を離してやってくださいな。
please let go of him.
別にカノンさんが隠
Ganon-san
しているわ
isn't
けでは
really
ないので
hiding
す。
anything.
じゃあ話してくれたっ
Then
てい
you
いじゃ
won't
ねえ
have any
か。
problem talking about it, right?
仲間外れたら
It's
寂し
lonely
いぜ
being out of the loop, you know? When I tried to further twist up his collar, Genji-san cut between us and spoke. In his expression were faint traces that he'd made up his mind to do something. Apparently, he had no intention of hiding it.
お話しすることはできます。
I can tell you about it.
ただ、
Ganon only hesitated because you might
かもしれませんの
have taken it badly,
カノンは躊躇してい
Killer-sama.
るのです。
躊躇なんて男らしくねえ
Hesitating,
ぜ
huh? Not very manly of you.
内緒にされる方が気持ち悪い
Whatever it
さ
is you're talking about, it's even more unpleasant having it kept as a secret.
聞かせてくれよ。
Tell me about it.
どうせ明日までできることはないん
It's
だ
not like we have anything better to do before tomorrow
多
comes.
少はうさんくさい話の方
A
が
slightly spooky story might be the best way to avoid getting bored. Genji-san and Kanon-kun looked at each other, then nodded as though they'd decided to talk.
わかりました。
Understood.
何でもお聞きくだ
Please
さい。
ask us anything.
お話しします。
We will talk.
あ
Right.
あじゃあ
Then I'll
聞く
ask.
ぜ。ベアトリーチっての
Who
は
in the
一体
world is
何
Beatrice?
俺が知ってる限りでは
All I know is that she's a witch who lives in the forest of Rokenjima.
森に入ると危ないから
I've
って
heard
ん
it's
で
a story grandmother
ばあ
or
さま
someone
が作り出
invented
した
to keep
脅し
other
話だって
people,
聞い
keep
て
people out of the dangerous forest.
違うのか
Is that wrong?
いえ、
No,
違いません。
it isn't wrong.
その通りです。
It's as you say.
ベアトリーチェ様は、
Beatrice is a witch who
ロッケン
dwells
島
in the
の森に
forest
住
of
まわれる魔女
Rokenjima.
であらせられます。
バトラ様、
Butler-sama,
にわかには信じられないでしょ
I
う。
don't expect you to believe this all of a sudden,
ベアトリーチェ様は存在す
but
るのです。
Beatrice-sama exists.
Oh, shit.
親方様に莫大な大
She is a real person, the one who gave the master a vast amount of gold, and who worked by his side for many years.
は
Huh?
あよせやよせやい
Come on.
じいさま
Is
の
grandfather
手売り
paying
の
you to repeat
給料
everything
の
he
うちなんだよ
says?
か
I laughed like it was a joke, but neither Genji-san nor Kanon-kun laughed. Not even Kumasawa Ba-chan, who was avoiding my eyes, flustered as she started washing the dishes. So unfortunately, I was the only one laughing. Painfully. Bitterly. I see. That's why Genji-san refused to mention it.
If
you really mean it, of course I'd take it badly. So, you're saying that a person named Beatrice actually exists?
はい。
Yes,
親方様が
she has been working for the master since before the mansion was built on this island.
おそらく
She has most likely been working for him even longer than I have.
なんてこった。
What do you know?
キリエさんの仮説は外れた。
Kyrie-san's theory was off.
じいさまに
Grandfather really did have a confidant called Beatrice.
そいつは今この島にいるんだ。
Is that person on the island now?
はい。
Yes,
いらっしゃっていると思いま
I
す。
believe that she's here.
曖昧な言い方だな。
That's a vague way to say it.
ってことは
I guess that means you haven't seen her face today or yesterday.
はい。
That is correct.
大変申し上げがたい
It
で
is
す。
extremely difficult to say, but
その
Kanon-kun once again dropped his gaze, avoiding my eyes.
なんだよそこで切るな
Come
よ。
on, don't just stop there.
鮮度目みたい
That's
な
like freezing an inch before the blow, right? I urged him on jokingly again. However, it looked like Kanon was still confused as to whether he should speak or not. Then Kumasawa Ba-chan whispered. There's something creepy about that laugh.
お顔を見ようにも、
You cannot see her face
ベアトリーチェ様にはお
because
姿がありませんから。
Beatrice-sama has no form.
お姿が
She has no...
なんだって
What did you say?
ベアトリーチェ様には
Beatrice-sama has no body.
ですからベアトリーチェ様
Therefore,
がお望みに
unless
ならない
Beatrice-sama wishes it, common people like us are not able to see her
姿を見ることすら
form.
叶いません。
ベアトリーチェ様
You
が
fucking
人
what?
の姿をされていた頃の絵があの肖像
I
画
have
のも
heard
の
that
な
the
んだ。
portrait shows what Beatrice-sama looked like back when she had a human form.
そのお姿を懐かしみ、
It seems he yearned for that figure so much, he would often stand in front of that portrait.
Wanking.
No. Master, please.
Stop wanking in front of the portrait, please, master.
You're defiling Beatrice-sama, please, master.
ベアトリーチェ様
People, please, stop wanking in front of the portrait.
身を変えられて現れることがあります
Beatrice-sama sometimes shows herself by changing her form into glittering
万
butterflies.
一お屋敷の中でお見
On
か
the
けし
rare
た場合に
occasion that you
は
spot them somewhere in the
決してそ
mansion,
の後を追ってはならない決まり
there
で
is a
す
rule that you absolutely mustn't chase after them.
追えば不幸があると囁かれています
It is whispered that you will meet with disaster if you do.
その金を
In
破り
fact,
大
there
怪我
was
を
a
して
servant
辞
who
めた
broke
使
that
用人
rule
も
and
実際
quit
にいま
because
す
of a great injury.
おいおいマジかよ
Wait a sec. Are you kidding me?
本
Are you
気で
all
そんな話を
serious
してい
about
るのか
this?
よ
バトラー様。すでに
Butler-sama,
ベアトリーチェ様がお越しになっており
Beatrice-sama has already arrived.
そのようなお言葉は
Such language may be unwise.
Oh god.
ベアトリーチェ様はご自身を冒
Beatrice-sama
涜さ
does
れる
not
方は
like
好
it
み
when
ま
she
せん
is profaned.
その存在を疑え
If you
ば
doubt her existence,
必ずや不幸が降りか
you
かる
will
でしょう
surely meet with disaster.
バトラさん、
Butler-san, you probably find this topic unpleasant.
ですがね、
But you know what?
ベアトリーチェ様は
Beatrice-sama does exist.
言います。
He exists.
それを疑われることを
Beatrice-sama
ベア
hates
トリーチェ
people
様
who
は
doubt
ことの
that.
ほか嫌われます。
わかりませんかバトラ様
Can't you tell, Butler-sama?
ベアトリーチェ様は
Beatrice-sama has already arrived here.
おいおいよせよ
Come on, quit it!
俺そういうの
I'm
弱い
weak
んだ
against
ぜ
that
おしっ
stuff.
こなしにしない
Enough with the cheap threats. However, there was no trace of a joke in the eyes of the three servants. On the surface, I laughed and tried to look unconcerned, but I was quickly starting to sober up. Their eyes were also sobering up, fast.
バトラさん、お願いです。
Butler-san, I beg that you stop profaning Beatrice-sama.
悪いことは申し上げませ
Please
ん。
trust me.
Kumasawa Ba-chan who was usually cheerful and would always tease people, now spoke with a totally serious face.
いや
Well,
いるって言われてもよ
even if you say she exists,
俺には何も見えないぜ
I don't see anything.
今俺の
Are
隣
you
にいる
trying
と
to
で
say
も
she's
言う
standing
のか
right
よ
next to me or something?
冗談よせやい
Quit joking around. Whoa! What the fuck? What's that? Where's her eyes?
They're just under her fringe, mate.
What the fuck? What are you doing, Maria? What the fuck's happening? Just then, that unnerving laugh suddenly filled the kitchen. Oh, God. Yep, she needs to go, mate.
Advocating for the death of a 9-year-old child.
Yep. If it's gonna
for the greater good.
If it's gonna save the other 10, yep. When I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance. But her expression and the feeling about her, her presence, felt exactly the same as the servants.
Whether your wavelength matches or not is determined at birth. Battler, you were born with a mismatched wavelength.
Battler doesn't believe.
That's why you can't see her. That's why you can't meet with her. And that's why you can't talk to her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most.
Maria laughed like it was funny, but it sounded extremely eerie. It was almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand.
Do you want to know about Beatrice? Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch. With all of the demons at her command, she can harness the power of alchemy to create the Philosopher's Stone and a vast quantity of gold. It's a prequel to Harry Potter, this. Grandfather built up all the vast wealth of the Ushiromiya family by making a contract with her. Yesterday I read Beatrice's letter, didn't I? That was real. Well, I guess it's pointless for me to try and force you to believe. After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense.
That's so fucking scary, that laugh. What are you talking about? Witches? Demons? Who told you about that?
I heard it from Beatrice herself.
Maria kept doing that unpleasant laugh. However, the servants who watched over this didn't even blink. She heard it from that witch in the portrait adorning the entrance hall. Maria kept on laughing in a weird voice as though this was nothing more or less than the truth. Maria, it might be rude to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay? Who gave you that letter yesterday?
I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand? You don't get it, do you? You can't see it. You can't believe it, can you?
Just then, Maria's laughter suddenly stopped.
Butler, you still don't understand. Beatrice-sama exists.
She exists, you say? But where?
Like I said, Beatrice-sama exists here.
That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling for a while now that the servants' eyes haven't been pointed in quite the right direction. I'd figure they were just staring absent-mindedly, but that wasn't the case. The four here, Genji-san, Kanon-kun, Kumasawa-san, and Maria, everyone except me, was looking at a spot right behind me. Holding my breath tightly, I slowly looked over my shoulder. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I've known that the whole time. However, everyone in the room except me was focusing on that point, as if someone was standing there.
Beatrice is the mighty golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years. But since she can't show her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them. And you know what? That's really sad. It means she truly despises it when people like you, who were born without a fragment of the ability needed to sense magic, deny that she exists.
That's not very nice of Beatrice. They can't help it. They were born like that. Why is she mad at them then?
Oh, he's become one of Maria's pawn. You're lucky, Battler. Good thing I came. I gave you that charm yesterday, right? Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you by now if you hadn't been carrying it around? You really are lucky, Battler.
That scorpion keychain. I thought that was just some cheap gift or something, but are you saying it really had some power?
If it weren't for that, you'd be lying in that storehouse as a sacrifice with your face crushed in by now. You're so lucky, Battler.
I see. So if it weren't for that, I'd have been killed by now.
Battler, why don't you believe in Beatrice? Even though she exists.
Maria, you already know why he doesn't believe, because he wasn't born with the sixth sense.
Right now, over there, look. Hey, I'll bet you want to believe it now. Believe it. And thank me for giving you that charm. If it weren't for that, you'd be in the storehouse right now. But then, maybe you would have saved someone else in exchange, right?
Right then, I burst into laughter. Playing witches had been pretty fun up until a second ago, but unfortunately that last one seemed to be too much for me to gloss over. Then it's all useless, isn't it, Maria? If that's true, then I'm sorry, but it's all useless. When Maria saw me suddenly start laughing, she stopped. Even though she didn't understand what I was laughing at, she realized it wouldn't be pleasant for her.
Oh.
I thought it might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but... Well, I thought I'd put that charm you gave me in my pocket. But I must have dropped it somewhere. So the charm can't be the only reason I'm alive now. And even though I should have been cursed by the witch, I'm perfectly fine. Sorry, but I don't believe in things I don't see with my own eyes. Sixth senses? Wavelengths? Magic sensitivity? Sorry, but I don't believe in fake stuff like that. When I hear the girls in class start talking about how good or bad their ability to sense the supernatural is, it pisses me off. I don't know how much grandfather is paying you, but if you're trying to talk me into joining some cult, believe me, you won't be able to do it that easily. Fuck yeah, Battler, let's go, mate. Let's go.
Go off, mate.
Battler-sama. You guys are free to believe whatever you want. However, when it comes to the things I believe, the one who decides is always me. Sorry, but I can't believe in something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen her with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply. Then Maria started cackling again.
Well, that's just fine, isn't it? Eventually, when people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths... Oh, eventually, even people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths will be able to see Beatrice. Very soon, she will revive. Beatrice will revive. Once that happens, she's promised to talk to me and play with me a lot.
Fuck off, Maria.
There'll be absolutely no need for you to doubt or for us to force you to believe. She will appear very soon. Well, sounds like Beatrice and Maria are just best buds, I guess.
Yeah.
Playing with each other.
She's like happy that she killed her mum. Alright, well, I think we might leave it at that. That's good.
The short one.
How long have we gone for?
About an hour 20, so probably more like an hour 15 when you subtract the not the intermission, the waiting room.
The waiting room, yes. No, I think that was a good little chapter. Gosh. So all the servants believe in Beatrice and apparently see her. The battler is like, nah. It's bullshit.
What do you mean by see her? Like, because they said she didn't have a form, right? So like they just sense her, I guess.
But weren't they looking at a spot behind him?
Yeah, true. But like, yeah, she doesn't have a body apparently, according to the servants.
They're all being very unclear about it. Sounds like a bunch of hogwash to me, mate.
Yeah, when the music kicks in and battle is just like owning them.
Yeah,
the logic.
Yeah. He's like, actually, no, shut the fuck up.
He's not taking any of this this witch shit.
Man, Maria is starting to get annoying. She needs to either go back to her normal self. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want her to go back to her normal self.
You don't like
No, I'm finding it obnoxious.
That's funny because I very much preferred this version of Maria to like excessive ooh Maria.
But at least she was sort of, predictable. I don't like that she's now this mouthpiece for Beatrice.
It's just a fan, mate.
Just a fan.
Yeah, I like how they every time they say exists, they put it in single quotation marks just to muddy the waters even more.
Very true.
Beatrice-sama exists.
But I think what's annoying me most about Maria is that she's become this like person who's completely articulate.
I mean, 9-year-olds like should be more articulate than Maria has been. Like at the beginning, right?
I know, but why has it changed?
Yeah, definitely some sort of personality issues. By the looks of it. Like if you're not gonna assume possession, which Battler wouldn't. Battler wouldn't assume possession.
Yeah, I think I'm with Battler on that. And I think it'll make it kind of makes the experience better if you assume there's no funny business going on.
Yeah, well, like none of the conversations about who the culprit could be would be worth having if it's just a witch.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess if you don't know it's a witch, like a magical witch, if the player is still having value from those conversations. I was very much on Battler's side though when playing this. I was like, nah, mate, there's no magic. This is bullshit.
Yeah, true.
Oh, we've overridden the last remnant of Kraus.
Actually, let's get the characters. Who's
Little-
next? Wait, why is Kinzo
Who's next?
grayed out? Is that because he's missing?
Oh, yeah, I think that's because he's missing. What does it say? Does it say anything when you click it? Disappeared from his study unnoticed.
None.
I really wanted to break the mood in the kitchen scene when they were staring at the one spot and be like, they were staring at Nanja.
Oh, not much in the way of pants on there, Jessica.
She's wearing a skirt.
I don't know why.
Do you usually wear pants and a skirt?
I just expected her to be wearing long pants.
She's wearing like some sort of pants under her dress. Yeah, what a time to come back to the family. Have you noticed that last sentence on Rosa?
Yeah. I don't understand it.
Well, like someone who's like this first person all of a sudden, like someone is writing these.
Is this Beatrice writing these, perhaps? Or is it Maria writing it? Is this Maria's notebook?
doesn't have any pants on either, mate.
This certainly doesn't seem to be from Battler's perspective, this writing. Because he would never say something like that.
Everyone will be revived in the Golden Land.
So it's probably not from Maria's perspective if she's talking about herself like this.
Well, I think the others, like I think it's just the dead people who are written from the one perspective because they all are written differently from the rest.
Oh, that's true.
Or at least the final paragraph seems to be written by someone in particular.
Yeah, right.
And like it reads to me like Maria because of the lonely comment on Rosa.
Hmm. Yeah.
She's just all in. She's all in on this magic shit, man.
This is the beginning of everything. I wonder if Kraus was first in the deaths then.
Oh, not to worry though. Everyone will be revived in the Golden Land.
Oh, hey, Salmon, you still there, man? Spell attic out loud. ATTIC. That was a strange request, Salmon.
Do you not get it?
Oh, I was thinking, have I said something else inadvertently?
I mean, it's a bit of a stretch.
ATTIC.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't probably pronounce it that way, but
ATTIC. Good. Thanks, Sam. That was
literally battler.
Yeah. That was a good joke to end on, Salmon. Thanks, mate.
Oh, Shannon, a TTIC.
Hideyoshi would say that. The creep. 6, 7. Nah. On that note, Salmon, I'm gonna say goodbye. That's we don't get into that millennial bullshit. Is it millennial? What's the
millennial? Gen Alpha, mate.
Gen Alpha
or Gen Z.
For some reason, for me, it just makes sense that I call younger kids millennial, but I think that's
even though
incorrect.
millennials are older than us. But anyway.
Yeah, apparently. So what are we?
We're like early Gen Z.
Early Gen Z.
Like Gen Z starts 1997, and we're 1999. So.
Huh. Salmon, I think that's a good idea, mate. Have a good rest, bro. Have a good rest. Thanks for chatting. It's been nice to talk to you. And sleep well. And we'll say goodnight now. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Peace.